That's our colonial history right there. And so understanding that relationship and how do we tell that story. So, but I didn't want them to have that story.
Well, it is a privilege to be speaking with Darlene Naponse, the writer director of AKI. Oh, Darlene, thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes.
It's a beautiful film. It's a beautiful piece. What was it like? This is such a unique film experience. What was it that made you want to tell this story in this way?
Yeah, no. We when I was started making this, I do a lot of sovereignty work and work in my community, and so around we were building a constitution for many years, and just different like politics relating building community, and I wanted to tell the story of our community, and then I was like, but I can't do that in English. I cannot do that in English language, tell the story of our people. And I don't speak in Anishinaabe, which is our language, and it's been taken away from us. And so I'm learning it. And in that process, I was like, but I do know how to, tell a story through visuals. And so that's where it began.
Well, I wondered that because this is one of those films that it requires the viewer to sort of pause. And that's such a unique that you sort of get immersed in it. Like there's a beauty in it that way. Like what was the process in developing that? Because here the storytelling is the visuals in so many ways.
Yeah, no, and I think it's what I've grown up with and what is around me every day, and it's so beautiful and I love it so much. And I really appreciate where I live and whom like community, and so sometimes I see it and I was like, oh wow, just like these places tell a story on their own, and it tells our history and just like the activities that we do and how we live in the seasons and how we live on the land with the land and with each other. I think there's parts of this film where it's just like one image will tell a lot of stories. And
Mm.
so just being able to pace that and bring that together is really I'm really grateful to do that.
Yeah, I mean it feels like it feels like we're there and that we're sort of
Hmm.
included in this space. And I wanted to talk to you about that, the relationship between culture, community, and nature, because so much of this film is about honoring the everyday, but also just
Yes.
honoring the people and their activities in this space. What?
Yeah.
No, no, go ahead. I was
I
just
think
sorry. I
it's
was gonna say.
no, 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 exciting. I think when you were talking about spaces and creating space, I think that is a really important thing, and I'm really happy that you said that it feels inclusive because like I believe in community and I believe in like how we exist with each other. So, and I think that's the strong point of humanity is that, if we can understand each other, we can, you know what I mean, survive in some way and sit and listen and make space for each other. And so, I really approached life in that way, and so part of that was in the approach of making the film, and but also is just like we understand that once we put a camera in front of somebody, it changes, right?
Mm.
And but we didn't want any additional other kind of footprints or making difference and changing anything. So there was no script, and what you saw on that is what was happening that day. Yeah. And so it was a real push for myself and the crew that we existed back here and, you know what I mean, behind the camera. And we just allowed people to be themselves. And there was not one other time, like no time where we said like, oh, can you put that, if someone was drinking something or doing something or wearing something that, might not visually go, with what we thought filmmaking is. We never changed anything. It was just like everybody existed the way they were. And I
Well,
think that's really important. Yeah.
no, but I think there's such beauty in that. Like
Mhm.
I wondered that about this filmmaking process because um, narrative in this film isn't in the traditional sense, obviously.
Hmm.
So I wondered if, like, when you're developing this, was there intentionality, like, or was it the intentionality merely to say, I want to show my community in as honestly as possible without, like you said, without directing them? Like, what was that process like?
Yeah, no, there was intention in everything that we did, and not to be that it was we were controlling ourselves or anything, but we had we knew what we couldn't do so that everybody could be themselves. And so we really like worked on being present and finding space. And I always think like, like filmmaker like Alanis, who always talks about like first going into the community and then asking questions and then coming in with a crew. Right. So there's protocols in the way that we do things. And so making sure that in that process that everybody felt safe and felt and wanted to be part of this. And so first making those contacts and being that and then following them and them allowing, yeah, it to happen. And then just like the happy, like lucky moments of like on the day of like all those kids playing.
Mm.
Just like that's what they do. They just play and it's so great. So being able to record on those, like, yeah, just find, those are the sights and sounds that we saw on the day. So it was really beautiful. So nothing was like, so the intention was to be present. And I think that's what we did and how we did it.
I'm glad that you said that about like the kids playing or the dance or whatever whatever there is. Like we see here, there's a joy.
Hmm.
There's like this unique blend of peace and joy and growth. There's all of these beautiful sentiments wrapped up that we often miss if
Mm.
we're constantly, you know, well, moving at a normal pace. And,
Right.
and I wondered from your perspective, what was that like from you? Did it cause you to slow down and sort of be more reflective as you created this? And what do we learn about the world when we do?
Yeah, no, definitely it changed me. It changed the way I approach my filmmaking. I think it changed the way that I actually think about things a lot. And so when we were doing this and we were like writing, as you have to like, create an idea and for the funding. And so I had did like a lot of like writing and reflection, I guess, and but also research in my community and put this on this beautiful document. There's like over, 26 pages of what, of what how we were going to make this film and what we were going to do.
Mm.
And then so there's been all of that through the process of doing it. And but when we were making it, yeah, no, it really changed me. And I think that it gave me more peace as a, as, as a human and as a woman and Anishinaabe woman, connecting to my family. And I was also going through a lot in my private life. So I was like, it really helped me understand where I want to go in the future too as a filmmaker and how I want to do it. There was a complete joy of making this and just with the crew and everybody. It was just such a, yeah. And but I believe like it's like filmmaking is so wondrous in that way, even though that you're making a documentary on your community, there are this crew that you're working with, right? And you're beside all this time and just really beautiful professionals and masters at what they do and be able to like spend space and but give them that space to see and work the way they want to work too. And yeah, so it's beautiful. And then like the music, the
Yeah.
soundtrack is stunning, right? Chris Dirksen, yeah. She really brought it. Yeah. And that's all original. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it all flows together so seamlessly. Um, and like I said before, there's an invitation there.
Mhm.
But even I watching it, it's a struggle because we're queued up. The temptation is to check your phone or to like, okay, well, okay, can we, but the more we sort of engage, like the more beautiful an experience it becomes as we just allow it to sort of wash over us. I think it's wonderful on that level.
Yeah. No, yeah, no. And and that's the challenge too, because like, you never know. Like, so we just had our premiere yesterday.
Mm.
And and I was like, oh my God, are people gonna fall asleep? Are they gonna walk out? You know what I mean? Like those are the things because I know I put the series on and walk around the house and you know what I mean? And it's the back of the, doing the dishes and there's something on the television and I look at my phone and so I know that about myself too. So I think, being able to really engage the audience in a way of being able to have those arcs of stories and those punches at the right time. I think you know what I mean? Like I think we did it like where we can like just continuously engage the audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was really, yeah, it was quite the process of telling that story. Yeah.
What was the response like from the audience? I mean, here you are seeing it in theater with an audience at TIFF. What was the experience like for them?
Yeah, no, we had the most beautiful cinema. We were at TIFF, Cinema 3, and so the sights and sounds were absolutely
Mm.
amazing. And I people laughed, and they enjoyed it, and no, and it was really, really, really positive response. And I love that people said it makes me want to go home.
Mm.
And I love that reflection that people see themselves in their own spaces watching this. And so that was really, it really touches me because I love that. And yeah, so I think, yeah, so it was great.
That's beautiful. And I
Yeah.
think it taps into everything you've been saying, is this idea of wanting to go home. This is a celebration of of your space,
Yeah.
of your community.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yes, it is. And I really do. Like, it's so easy to say that I love my community, but I really do. And especially getting older, reflect in a way of understanding my community more and my family more. And it's not always easy. Everybody, there's a lot of issues that we're dealing with, and you see that on the screen, but I wanted to come at it in a different way. I really wanted to approach the ideas of even like around addictions. Like, while we were shooting, we lost so many people and a lot of like you'll see the flags half mast and that's because of there was days where we couldn't do things like or we would thought we were going to go somewhere and then yeah, somebody had passed away and so our community was going through a lot of grief and processing. So we went and into different spaces and also like over 100 years of mining in our community around on our lands. Just like those industry that's our colonial history right there. And so understanding that relationship and how do we tell that story. So but I didn't want them to have that story. I wanted to tell the story from a point of view where it wasn't theirs.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I think that all of that really came together and celebrating, yeah. So and finding that simple beauty of what's around us.
I love that. Honestly, Darlene, it's the film is beautiful. Um,
Thank you.
the beautiful experience. Thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yes.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You
Thanks.
too. Bye.
Bye.